Vayne fast push with 2v1 lanes is going to be what they try to create. Toyz is going to try to...
What a tremendous trophy that is. TPA seems to be the champ, but it's pretty even, I think, across the board. Azubu Frost definitely have a lot of support, certainly in Korea, obviously in prime time now for the Korean audiences, as well as Taipei. And, well, honestly, Jat, I mean, coming into this, the team comps, who would you favor as we get into the game?
I've talked to a lot of pros, and it's odd for them as we get into the game. Normally, they're very one-sided in what they say. They're very definitive about how they predict. And everyone says 3-2. I don't know who's going to win. These teams are very even. Now that they come out of the base, we're finally here into the World Finals.
Well, I know everyone here would certainly love to see a 3-2. Everyone at home would love to try and stay up. And I favor with all those Europeans that have stayed up through the night. You have my sympathies, ladies and gentlemen, because Taipei Assassins versus Azubu Frost is about to get underway, and the water immediately goes in their faces. If you've just joined us, if you've just tuned in, the Taipei Assassins as a blue team as game one gets underway. Azubu Frost as the red team. We are just 50 seconds into it. We are going to see a level 1 invade.
And this is brute force because they're going right through a ward that they just saw. They're just trying to get a ward on the Wraiths. And the big weakness for Amumu is early game counter jungling. Funnily enough, the early game weakness of Maokai is also that, so it was a pretty good pick against it. They're both poking around, trying to invade the other team's buffs. There's a lot of wards. You can see a lot of supports have just went to burning all their wards on early level 1 buffs. Looks like Maokai starting at blue and Amumu starting at blue as well, so both of these junglers looking to start very strongly, and neither team actually going for an aggressive invade. They know how much is on the line, and it does seem like they have conservative plays coming out early.
Of course, that $1 million would certainly make you think twice about any crazy plays you were going to throw out. Certainly in the first game, definitely going to be a cautious match on the first match. Wouldn't expect anyone to go overly aggressive. They've got nothing to lose at the moment, of course, but you know, they could come back from anything. Taipei Assassins taking the golems. You can see also setting up for the red. Meanwhile, the blue buff, is also being picked up by Azubu Frost. That is going to be the Nivelish. And that is going to be CloudTemplar picking up the blue buff, we would assume. We're just going to see whether they use the smite here. It is something that Amumu always needs in the jungle to start.
And actually, there wasn't any lane swapping. They might have out-mind gamed each other because Bebe and Mistake have to lane up against the Sona Ezreal. That's going to be a very difficult lane for them. They're going to get poked down really hard in the bottom lane. CloudTemplar saving his smite so he can pick up the red buff very early. Both junglers getting seen by wards a bit, and that bottom lane, Bebe getting poked hard early.
Very low. The exhaust had to get used. They might be able to turn this one. Had to burn the flash there. They tried to go for it. Bebe, MadLife trying to get aggressive. He puts the ignite down on Mistake. Mistake's going to get taken low. Woong's going to have one more Mystic shot. Can he make it? No! And that's going to force Taipei Assassins back early on. They're going to try and burn the health pots, but they've got to go back.
This is really going to hurt them. They're going to lose a wave on the turret, and that could set them behind very much. They can't go back to that lane and keep hurting because that is going to continue happening. Punishment going down around the map. Big harassment early, and that was the play for Azubu Frost. Big advantage there early bottom lane.
Okay, so looking like the lane's going to be pretty standard. We're just going to keep our eye on where CloudTemplar is going to head. Take us through this top lane moment as CloudTemplar has a little peek, actually. And let's just stay with it a moment. You can see if he can get the bandage toss on towards Stanley. He's going to show himself, and that's going to be the stun coming straight down. He's going to have plenty of time to land that bandage toss. It's going to be first blood. Stanley's going to go down. It is going to be Shy picking up first blood for Azubu Frost.
The crowd here is electric, and that was huge. They got the stun onto Olaf, and since he had Ghost instead of Flash, they chained it, and the red buff slowed him down enough so he couldn't escape that gank. Top lane and bottom lane now very strong early advantages, and Amumu's weakness sometimes is early game ganks aren't as strong, and that was big for them. Still a bunch of harass going back and forth in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Woong taking a lot of damage in that bottom lane. Also taking a tower hit, getting a little too crazy with the aggression. Needs to be very careful. Once Bebe can manage to get in position, can try and poke him down. You can see Woong again taking a lot more poke, but with MadLife there, the sustain is very high between these two. As it stands though, Azubu Frost definitely with that advantage. 700 gold, early stuff. And honestly, that assist from Amumu, it's exactly what he needed.
Yeah, and look, he got a Philosopher's Stone at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. That's going to be huge for his late game play. Huge, big early start. And you can see now Lilballz up in that top lane, camping, trying to get Stanley back in the game. What happens a lot of times is top lane will try to snowball. You can get in on that. Lilballz still camping up in the top. Irelia coming back in the lane, and CloudTemplar isn't quite there to support. Shy's going to look to get aggressive here, and if he does, Lilballz will be coming right out for the gank.
Now, they've already pinged on Lilballz, so I think they realize he may be there. We're seeing CloudTemplar coming around the side. They've dived up towards Shy.
Too.
Here comes Amumu coming around the side. Shy's heading towards him. Have they got enough though? I think Shy might go down before they get the chance to finish it off. There goes Shy. Stanley manages to get it down. Can they get another stun towards CloudTemplar? CloudTemplar with the double buff. He doesn't want to go down. He twists the mats. Lilballz makes it.
What a great turnaround by TPA there. The double buffs getting renewed onto Lilballz. Level 5 Maokai now at 5 minutes. That's the swap around they need, and great support after that early failure top.
The bottom lane is very aggressive though. Woong and MadLife certainly pressing the pace here on Bebe, and Bebe having to get shielded up there, really being pressed heavily on that turret. Matching up these lanes, you can see Woong taking some damage, but Bebe is definitely struggling. Obviously, we've seen him so far ahead in his lanes, normally in terms of CS, 26 to 33. How do you match that lane up?
The saving grace for them now is the fact that they're blue side, so they can continually go back and get double golems. Most likely, they're going to lose their tower fairly early if Azubu Frost decides to push it, but as it is, they're going to be basing very frequently and continually picking up those double golems to make up for the experience loss. They're sticking in there fairly well considering the level 1 loss, 28 minion kills to 39. They're down at Doran's Blade in items. You can see Woong picking up that second one, and it's just going to be a constant struggle for them to stay in the game. Luckily, they got that turnaround in the top lane, and that's going to be big.
Yeah, and there's wards across the board here. 4 members of both teams, 5 members of Taipei Assassins picking up wards there, showing they're really spreading the load, spreading the love. Toyz versus RapidStar. We haven't really had a chance to look at this one so far because the aggression's been in them top and bottom lanes. Take us through Anivia versus Karthus.
It's mostly a farm off, and then it will come into aggression, mostly once Maokai starts ganking Karthus. I don't know if they can actually get onto Toyz. He's been pretty much unkillable. He plays so passive in lane before he ends up getting aggressive, and you can actually see both teams preemptively did a lane swap. Taipei Assassins went up top to try to get some free farm, and Azubu Frost was right on top of it, both going up to top lane. They're not going to let Vayne get a 2v1 in free farm because they need to keep the pressure on.
We are seeing them try to match it up there, but that means Olaf did get in lane quite a bit earlier, and at the moment Stanley's starting to take a little bit of a lead in terms of CS. Of course, they've both got a kill apiece and an assist. As it is, we saw the jungler Lilballz just hanging around that mid lane, but RapidStar was not showing himself any position. CloudTemplar just going back, building up that heart of gold. Heavy GP10 items being built up by these guys. It's something we've seen throughout the tournament. And
Lilballz actually getting an Oracle's Elixir already, so he's going to be looking for those early ganks, and he continue from the success he saw top lane, giving the blue buff over to Toyz right now, still having the blue buff from the earlier trade, and he's going to clean up this ward top, and once Azubu Frost has no wards, they won't be able to pressure Vayne and Lulu quite as hard, and it's going to help them a whole bunch having that map control.
As the cheer goes for the ward kill. Thank you very much, guys, for bearing with us through that entire Saturday. It was a long, long day for all of us. And as it is, we are getting things going here. And Taipei Assassins do one up. Toyz taking a very early ward there and looking like a potential red invade here, Jack.
And really, they're just trying to catch CloudTemplar. Once they realize he's level 6, though, this invade becomes increasingly dangerous. And he's actually baiting. They know that Lilballz is around pushing the red, and he's going to try to catch him here while they collapse down with Sona and Ezreal. Lilballz has to run away.
He has to back off, like you say. Sona and Ezreal coming both down, and that is going to be CloudTemplar picking it up. But it's good to see Taipei Assassins going for those aggressive plays, something Azubu Frost has yet to do, obviously. Them trying to push that lane heavily, and now we're seeing Anivia picking up those wraiths. They're trying to help him farm out here, and then again he's going to assist Lilballz in picking up the red buff of his own.
And really, I just want to look at the lanes a bit here because you can see Stanley against Shy. So much has been talked about this matchup. We saw Stanley completely dominate on Italy in the semifinals, and Shy completely destroy on Shen. And Shy actually has a bit of an early edge here. He's 11 up, and here comes a gank around the back. Lilballz with Oracles cleaned him out. Shy's in trouble.
The Ignite goes down on towards Shy here. Has he got enough to try and finish off Stanley before it finishes? Lilballz gets in there, tries to bait him around, pulls him into the push, and takes him down with the Karthus onto the Requiem. Well, no! It didn't finish him off! Stanley survived with nothing! The Ezreal ultimate didn't actually aim for him. There was a push on mistake up the top there as well.
The clutchest of plays by Olaf there. He popped his Ragnarok at the end there because it gives him armor and MR, and because of that, he lived through the Requiem, so he burned the ultimate from RapidStar, and they got the successful gank. Brilliant play.
But that top lane is being pushed very heavily here from Woong. You can see alongside him They are really driving it home. And this could be a turning point. Azubu Frost with Sona Ezreal is such a strong lane. Often we've seen Woong getting so far ahead of his lane partner, and you can see already 71 to 59, effectively 60 any second as soon as he returns to lane. Definitely building up that advantage, which we've seen throughout this tournament for Woong.
And immediately, since they realize that they're falling a bit behind in kills, they turn on the fast push. They're trying to get this tower down, and they're trying to get the global gold back into their hands to pull them back. That'll give them more than 700 gold, killing that tower as a team, and they really need to make sure they keep Bebe down. Vayne's actually made kind of 2 appearances in this tournament, both of them being victories. Another ward kill by Lilballz. That Oracles is coming in handy.
It is definitely coming in handy. So Lilballz shows himself up the top there, puts down a sapling, I think, in the Tribe Shell. I think it was a ward, and that's going to be CloudTemplar walking directly into it. That's going to give them a warning, and they'll back away. But that bottom lane, despite the fact it's 2-1 as the sapling there disrupts the pullback. Oh, Toyz actually trying to get aggressive on RapidStar here. Has he got enough to finish him off? He might. The ignite goes in. The basic shot. Yes, he does. Toyz takes him down and continues his unstoppable record in that mid lane.
Toyz just bullying out RapidStar, and you look at that, he's got a 20 minion kill lead on him as well, so really, there haven't been jungle ganks to give him that edge. That's all Toyz in that lane, and that's 4 kills to 1 now for TPA after that first blood, taking the next 4, and they are taking control of this game. You can see Lilballz still clearing out the wards, and Azubu Frost can't keep pace with the pressure right now. Shy scouting up towards Dragon because he's just trying to get vision, and Lilballz is going to catch him out in the river here if Olaf can support. No, they're just going to end up disengaging.
Both going to back off. They see each other. They realize they were there. And as it is, though, that bottom lane, Stanley being outfarmed quite heavily by Shy. We can see they're turning on towards MadLife here. Crescendo comes across, but the ultimate goes straight towards Bebe. He wants to take down MadLife. One more shot, but Woong round outside of us will take Bebe down. No! He gets him, tries to push him out, but Woong with a beautiful mystic shot takes down. And can he get on towards Mistake here? He's going to get Arcane Shift available. He hasn't got the mana, though, and he's going to have to step off.
CloudTemplar with an Oracles as well, taking out this top ward. But the big play for that was actually for Bebe. They went aggressive onto a lane that's supposed to be destroying them. They're only down by about 13 minion kills. It's going to get a bit worse now that he's died. But that was still a pretty good play for Bebe and Mistake. They're going to lose this tower. That was going to happen anyway. Vayne doing a pretty good job keeping farm, because if they get him into teamfight late game phase, it's going to be huge. That tower kill, taking the gold, pretty much even.
So 11:55 and the first tower goes down, along with another ward. Lilballz, he's really farming up, making that Oracle pay, but this bottom lane, surely, will it become a concern for them here?
You actually only need to clear out 16 wards for the Oracles to pay for himself. He's getting close to that point, and it's really just created so much map pressure for them. The Dragon play is going to be happening shortly. Both junglers trying to clear out the area. CloudTemplar has his Amumu ult up. They have Requiem back. Crescendo's a little bit slower. If they fought now, it would be in the advantage of TPA, because they have all of their cooldowns except for Mistakes, and these fans continue to applaud the wards.
Shy getting jumped on, Shy's getting dominated down the bottom here. They should be able to take him down. Yes, they do. Bebe gets him. That's, of course, going to turn the fight for the Dragon. CloudTemplar's having to back away here. Mistake, would you believe, bullying him here. Toyz could get a wall across here. They're going to try and wall him. They do. The man's to back him up. Have they got enough to slow him down? There's going to be the slowdown towards CloudTemplar, but they're just forcing him away. True Shot Barrage does manage to hit a lot of Taipei Assassins. They're going to maybe try and go for the Dragon here. Nope, they are going to back away.
They got harassed down pretty heavily. Most of that with True Shot Barrage from Woong. It didn't have any damage fall off, getting them all pretty straight on. TPA actually backing off. The kill onto Shy, though, is pretty big. They're picking on him a little bit. He's out minion killing Stanley and trying to apply pressure, but because the Oracles clears and because he isn't safe with vision, they're continually ganking him and getting him down. And CloudTemplar getting seen by all those wards, not clearing out wards as fast as Lilballz. And this game, 6-2, TPA coming out with a lot of aggression. They need to start getting turrets, however.
If you guys can keep that ward cheering up throughout these 5 matches, I'll be very impressed. But the first game, you've got to give it to Taipei Assassins. They're certainly trying it. It is 6-2. Taipei Assassins currently up in kills, but you can see the goal is still very close. That one tower, of course, turning it for Azubu Frost there, spotting it, and Lilballz has been caught. How here? CloudTemplar pops his ultimate. You can see Ezreal coming in. That's going to be the Karthus ultimate. Is it enough to save Lilballz? No! He goes down. The Oracle burns. Can they catch on towards Mistake? They're going to try and turn this one. Olaf, Stanley coming down the side there. There comes the axe. He's going to go on CloudTemplar. He does. He takes both Oracles now burn. Can they turn it on to Woong? Just one more axe. Will it get the slowdown? Stanley is going to be able to tank the turrets up. They are going to go for this one. They take him down. Have they got enough to take MadLife? Yes, they do! And Bebe picks it up. Very nice turnaround down, and Taipei Assassins from a real strong position for Azubu Frost counter very nicely.
They realized that Shy was top on Irelia and that they had the man advantage. Now they get this free dragon with 4 members, and they just pushed into Azubu Frost for that aggression. They burned the Amumu ult on a single target, which gave TPA a big advantage in that team fight. Shy trying to counter with a push bottom, but Lilballz is all over that because he's right there to clear the wave, not allowing those turret kills to come through.
Well, there is a big difference in kills, of course, at the moment between support and assist between Stanley and Shy. And Shy, we've seen it so many times. You know, if he falls behind, he's just going to carry on farming. He's got a 45 CS advantage currently over Stanley. That's pretty big. But the 2-1-5 for Stanley has given him that gold advantage. And that mid lane, of course, Toyz versus RapidStar. Toyz seemingly winning it out currently on Anivia.
And Shy, despite his incredible performances on Singed, has been a little bit up and down in this tournament. This does seem to be a down game. He hasn't tuned back his aggression. He's getting the minions, but he's just letting Vayne and the rest of TPA get very farmed. We look at the gold. This is the big difference here. Woong versus Bebe. 4,900 for Bebe, 4,200 for Woong. And considering that was a Vayne versus Ezreal matchup, the early farm going to Vayne means very scary things for them. Stanley dodging the bandage toss in the top lane, and he's just going to walk away. He's toying with Azubu Frost right now.
Absolutely loving him. We saw it with his Nidalee against Moscow 5, and Darian, he's going to have nightmares against that Nidalee up against him in that lane. But Stanley quite happy, despite the fact he has got no ward coverage, to continue holding that position. Quite confident that CloudTemplar has backed off. Lilballz was there to help out, but Bebe, like you mentioned, the fact that he fell behind, he's got those 4 kills. He's got that gold advantage now, and despite all the pushing, has really worked in favor of Taipei Assassins.
And you can see this lane dynamic has completely changed, especially now with Bebe having the red buff. They're bullying back on to Woong and MadLife, and actually should be able to push onto this turret and just get him continually farming. He's only down 8 minions. He's getting a Phantom Dancer soon, and they are just pushing the pressure onto them, going back into the mid lane as well. Toyz playing with RapidStar as well. 11 minion kills up. Athene's Unholy Grail like we've seen this entire tournament. And top lane, we might have a fight. No, not really, but Amumu coming down bottom. There's the crescendo.
Crescendo goes across. They actually cleansed it off there, Bebe. That's going to be the Karthus ultimate. Will it be enough to take down Bebe? Yes, it will. Mistake might follow. Woong's going to get dived on there. Will he manage to finish off Mistake? That's going to be CloudTemplar trying to take the tower damage. Yes, he will. And he misses the ultimate. He missed the ultimate. Now Lilballz is coming around the side. Has he got anything? He's just going to have to force them back. We do see Toyz, though, taking down that mid turret as well on the way through.
And Toyz might be trying to collapse down onto CloudTemplar. Lilballz trying to keep pace. They might go for this if he gets the twisted advance.
And you can see CloudTemplar is trying to back away. Has he got enough? He dives on towards Woong. He's going to get the ignite. Surely he's going to get the stun down. Yes, he does. Will he finish him off? He's going to take him down. Now we have Stanley going around the back on towards CloudTemplar. The wall completely missed him, and it doesn't matter. Stanley gets one. Can he get another? He's all over MadLife. He's going to take him down. He gets the double kill. It's 12-5 for Taipei Assassins.
And that's just the counter gank from TPA. Every time Azubu Frost uses that Amumu ult, they get a kill out of it, and it's followed by multiple kills from TPA. Stanley comes down and collapses, and it's Shy not countering where Stanley is moving. He's trying to farm up and push that side lane, but right now, the plays are coming out for TPA. Stanley, 4 kills, 1 death, 5 assists, being the playmaker very much so for them. Been a part of 9 kills, and even though they're trying to split push, there always seems to be a TPA member that's there to stop the turret pushes. They're now up 2 turrets to 1, and in kills and in gold, really starting to snowball this a little bit. Azubu Frost has to stop the bleeding.
This is something we've seen with the Korean teams and with the Asian teams, the fact that they can counter, they can sense that attack, and they already get in position. We saw it with Azubu Blaze versus TSM at the MLG New York, and they were just countering everything TSM had at them. At the moment, Taipei Assassins are doing the exact same thing to Azubu Frost, and they're just unsure of what to do. The dragon is coming up shortly. Of course, it's not taken. You can see them hanging around the blue spawn. We are looking at the top lane, though, and here we go. Lilballz going to come in. He's going to take down that ward, of course, and Toyz is with him. They will steal the blue.
And there's nothing Azubu Frost can do to stop this one. CloudTemplar having fallen behind Lilballz. He lost that Oracle, so did Lilballz, but they've been creating more action, TPA that is, so it's not hurting them as much. Amumu also requires more farm than Maokai to get things done, so it's falling hard for them. Stanley trying to get pushed on by Shy, but he's just able to repel that. He's substantially behind in minion kills, 152 to 92 in that top lane matchup, but the pressure Stanley's created is more than worth it.
Yeah, and we're seeing Irelia's Reverie being built by Stanley pretty early on there. You can see gold-wise, he's 1,000 gold ahead of Shy, despite the fact he is down, because he's got that 4-1-5 kill ratio.
And the Reverie is playing right into his style. We've seen these really long chases. He has Ghost. He is unCCable. He's just been charging through towers. And that's the build for him. Olaf doesn't need to build damage items. He's building in just with health, just with move speed, just with cooldown reduction, and that's really his play style. Azubu Frost not really having an answer for what Stanley's doing so far because he's just ran straight at Woong, and Woong hasn't had an answer yet.
As we this moment, we can see this bottom lane. Woong's continuing to farm. He's going to try and pull it back, but he's actually fell behind in farm because he's been dived on so many times by Bebe and co. As it is, Lilballz looking to maybe get aggressive, try and take away that red buff. You can see the ward control in there from Taipei Assassins. They're starting to try and invade all of the jungle, take away everything that Azubu Frost has.
And this is something they did so well up against Moscow 5. As soon as they got rid of that mid tower, the jungle also came into their control. They've taken the red buff now. That's after the blue buff steal, so they're completely controlling Azubu Frost buffs and starving them from any enhancements. Now they're going up for the third turret. But actually, they sense the counterplay by Azubu Frost, and they're happy with this because BB's off in the bottom lane getting free farm, and Azubu Frost doesn't have an aggressive play to make here. They're going to try to push mid, but it's probably going to get repelled by TPA.
Yeah, they're going to try and cover across that mid. They do not want to lose it. They realize the dragon is now available, and Azubu Frost look like they've managed to peel away and get onto this one. You can see Taipei Assassins are reacting though.
They're going to try to get this dragon really fast, and BB had to run all the way around, so it looks like they'll get this dragon uncontested. If they can fight after this, though, TPA would want to. They might try for an engage here.
They might try and go for the engage. There's going to be the ultimate coming out from Amumu. Isn't it enough? Toyz is surely going to get dropped. He's down to an egg right now. CloudTemplar is getting dived on. The damage really coming from his Woong though at the back.
TPA's cleaning up.
Stanley gets one. Stanley gets two. BB gets the other one. That's going to be the Karthus ultimate. He might pop over this one. He gets the quadra kill. He gets the quadra kill off the back. My word, Stanley though is trying to avoid the damage, but Woong is in there. And could Azubu Frost get a better turnaround than that?
Everyone sat in top of RapidStar's Defile, and then when they took him out, the perfect timing for the Rec Cream. They just weren't ready for that damage. Quick impression there for the quadra kill. That was insane. So much farm coming out from RapidStar here, and it's going to make teamfighting very difficult because Stanley needs to run through the team. Everyone needs to just dive onto Azubu, and now that he's gotten so much farm from that fight, he's going to be heavy.
Okay, we're going to check out a replay of this one, try and take us through it in a calm manner.
You can actually see after the dragon, they get a perfect Timber wall. The Ezreal hits them all as well, and this looks like a fight that's going to go in TPA's favor, but you can see the Karthus Defile is just sitting there. RapidStar doesn't fall until quite a while. He's got so much damage going off there, and then really everyone's low. Sona's finishing up after, and that ultimate just cleaned house. Everyone got low because they didn't realize the Defile was going to last that long. I think they thought RapidStar died earlier and that the Defile was going to be worth sitting in. Boy, were they wrong.
The irony is they're the only kills so far that RapidStar has got. He just gets them all at once. That will turn his play very much, and you can see that's going to give him a big chunk of change. He's now ahead of Toyz in the kill. And let's not forget the fact that as soon as Toyz dies, TPA lose.
And that's the second Oracles Taipei Assassins have lost. Toyz really his first death. Can he stop the trend of winning without dying? Can he win with the death? He's got the Negatron cloak here, and everyone realizing they need magic resist after that fight because they know they have to sit in RapidStar. Toyz picked up the Negatron cloak. Stanley picked up the Negatron cloak. Vayne is yet to build any magic resist. That's going to be dangerous for them since he's a close range AD carry. Even with that death, though, and that teamfight loss, they're keeping the pressure up. This is their style. They're trying to camp the blue buff, hoping someone comes in and checks. But it doesn't look like Azubu Frost is down for it. They've had so much experience against COGEU. They're really trying their best to turtle out and get those teamfights where RapidStar can just pick up those quadra kills.
Taipei Assassins trying to cover this one out. Are they going to try and steal the blue buff away? Are they going to try and bait someone in? You can see Woong just off the side there with MadLife as well as Shy. Is anyone going to go into it? I expect
they get the stun!
They get the stun up towards Woong. They try and have the damage. The twister advance completely through, and Woong goes down. It's actually a mistake that picks up the kill, though. Not ideal, but MadLife now getting dived on. BB thinks he can take this one. The crescendo on the turret. MadLife might turn it. He's got him. He's got him back. That's going to be a 1-for-1 down in that lane. Meanwhile, Stanley getting very aggressive here. He's going to have to back off. That's going to be a straight stun there, but Stanley will walk away.
And they just took the blue buff away from Azubu Frost as well, so they're continually denying that blue buff, and repetitive blue steals have led to victory very frequently in this tournament. It's another one for them. CloudTemplar Going to get that Aegis of the Legion soon to match up with Lilballz. These team fights are so close. Both teams actually have very good late game synergy. I might have to give a slight edge to Azubu Frost just because Amumu on top of Karthus on top of Crescendo is so powerful. But with the pressure that TPA is putting out, they need to start to extend this lead. They lost a lot in that fight. The gold lead now shrinking below 3,000. They do have total control of the jungle. They seem to have total control of the map. And when Bebe gets going, nothing trucks like late game Vayne. And that's just more farm in the bottom lane for him to pick up.
Indeed, we are 25 minutes into it. We've talked about how the Asian teams tend to fall off after the 20-minute mark. That's where we saw the European teams much stronger in the team compositions. As it is, though, Azubu Frost, you know, COG called them one of the best team fighting teams in the world. The question is, can they pull themselves out of this 3k gold deficit they have? And, of course, a fed Stanley and a fed Vayne as well from Bebe. It could be a problem for them, but we saw the skill of the players. MadLife managing to turn a lost, you know, potentially a death easily there and just managed to pick up a kill on the AD carry because he got too confident.
And TPA needs to worry about that confidence. They did get a little too confident at the Dragon fight. They're still putting the pressure on, and the kills are really in a pretty good distribution for them. Having Stanley being big and being able to dive through for Woong, as long as he can solo Woong and dive through the team, TPA is going to win this game. But the instant that he dies before he can get to Ezreal is when TPA has to start worrying. The ward kill comes out, people cheer, and they're actually pushing around Baron, trying to get ward control. They're looking to force something here. They're trying to get Azubu Frost into their grill so they can turn something around.
The Taipei Assassins with the 5-man group up. They have, of course, the Oracle on the stake. So both supports picking up those Oracles, clearing out all of those wards. Taipei Assassins looking to try and force something here.
And Taipei Assassins spreading the Oracles around. They had to lose 2 when Lilballz died, and they are sitting on a ward that they have yet to clear. So Azubu Frost actually looking for CloudTemplar maybe to initiate something here. They're trying to push down mid, but this play is forcing TPA into them. If they go for a turret, we're going to see a fight off this, and they're pushing hard down mid. They're cornering themselves, and TPA might come in for a fight.
Yeah, CloudTemplar looks like he was ready for that one. Of course, they've got a big amount of stun in there. Axe coming across.
Here they come.
Oh, they've used it. Irelia's really going to go down. They're going to catch the ultimate across them. Didn't really hit the right spot though. Crescendo goes across. CloudTemplar's getting dropped very low. Toyz is being taken down. Not really the right target. RapidStar is getting dropped. RapidStar is down. Has he got his ultimate available? CloudTemplar taken down very low. Here comes the red cube. It should hit a few. It does hit a few. And Woong and MadLife comes in. And Azubu Frost turning into a 3-on-1 fight. Toyz manages to get back out of his rebirth. But that was a good fight for Azubu Frost, as we see Toyz trying to pin off Woong.
And they keep falling to just sustained AoE damage. And the nice thing there is Woong focused on Bebe and got him low enough for the Karthus ultimate to really get him with the last blow. RapidStar now with the death cap getting scarier and scarier. The big thing the TPA has to do here, since there's no avoiding the Red Cream and team fights, is get that magic resistance. You can see the force of nature now onto Olaf. Negatron Cloak just getting purchased by Bebe. If they can fight again soon, before RapidStar gets magic penetration, they're going to have something. With that team fight, though, Azubu Frost gets the Dragon. Gold lead even closer now, 1,000. And you can see their team fighting is coming out superior to TPA, and that's how they clawed their way back into this game.
So 18-13 in kills, definitely not going to be the stall tactic we've seen throughout this tournament and from certain teams. But we are going to check out the replay of that last fight and talk us through it.
Watch how Woong actually zones out Bebe into this fight. It looked like RapidStar might have died in the wrong place, but everyone is still clumped up. They're still getting the defile damage onto the majority of the team, and Bebe can't actually get to targets that he wants to. He's so zoned out, everyone just getting pushed back. Stanley was able to take it out, and because the Requiem comes down, no one can chase on to any priority targets for Azubu Frost. MadLife came in awesomely at the end with his amazing Sona. But that's just the team fights are really hard for TPA because it doesn't seem like they can get onto the targets they want. There's too much zoning potential coming out from Amumu and Karthus that the team fights do seem to be going in Azubu's favor.
So as it is, you can see Stanley on your screen. 7-1-6 has got that force of nature. Can he try and carry this one through for his team? Definitely seems to be calling out. He wants to force something. We can see Toyz down in the bottom lane though, so in a moment Taipei Assassins are split apart. We talked about their 4-man fight. Toyz right now feels he needs to farm up. He's got that Deathfire Grasp along with his Athenes and Holy Grail, which he picked up early on. It's something we've seen quite regular from the Asian teams.
The Athenes on Holy Grail is something Toyz has wanted this entire tournament. Almost every caster he plays is fairly mana hungry, and he'll get that Athenes. with the 4-man play, though, that's not how TPA has been playing this game. Stanley has actually been a creator. They wanted to run around as 5, and they're trying to force those things, but against Amumu Karthus, that's extremely dangerous. The split pushing isn't really coming in. Shy has actually been the one trying to make the 4v4s happen, and he's ended up getting picked off a few times because of it. Now that Azubu Frost has won a couple of team fights, the tides have turned here. They're the ones scouting around Baron buff, trying to clear out ward. MadLife's going to get that one in the triangle brush. And now it's Azubu Frost that has to come, or Taipei Assassins that has to come into Azubu Frost. CloudTemplar can turn a fight very quickly with Bandage Toss and Ultimate, and they can just all flash follow on top of that. RapidStar's flash not quite up yet, but they're looking to get someone out of position here. There's a wall. Here's a fight.
He's going to come in. He's going to be the curse of the money. Goes straight across. Toyz getting dropped almost instantly there. Goes down. Doesn't have rebuff available. Shy will drop. Taipei Assassin trying to turn this one. Mistake and Bebe trying to hammer the damage from the back there. But Crescendo comes across. Woong is going to get dropped. No. He gets the heal off. Has he survived? No. Stanley goes down on the back. Immediately. They're going to try to turn it. Mistake doing the damage. Lilballz. Can he pick them all up? He gets one. How can he get another? The Karthus ultimate comes through. It's not needed. And MadLife with a double kill at the end of it. MadLife is picking up kill after kill. He's 4-4-13. And Azubu Frost with another one-team fight.
We knew these teams were going to be aggressive coming in. Both of them were trying to match each other hit for hit, and it just seems like Azubu Frost is one step ahead of them in team fights. Amumu ultimate's so key, and TPA just can't seem to finish off the targets. Bebe actually had a field day hitting in that last fight, but he didn't have his Infinity Edge. Now that he has that, it's about him avoiding focus, and if Vayne can get off big things in team fights, it's really what they have to rely on. Toyz got picked off at the start of that fight, and they still took down 3 members, and CloudTemplar and MadLife were very, very close. These team fights are still razor thin. Azubu Frost got an edge off that one with the turret and now a gold advantage. But I still can't call the rest of this because it's been back and forth, the kills are still very close, and it's not like these team fights are completely one-sided.
Looks like Taipei Assassins were thinking about trying to react very quickly. Azubu Frost are well aware of that. They could go and rush straight towards that Baron. And Taipei Assassins are definitely doing that. They're going to try and get in there and clear things out. Mistake is going to get and clear that ward down, and immediately Azubu Frost tried to react to this one. You saw that Irelia's Reverie was used to escape off the back of this.
And they're actually just seeing a ward, and they just cleared it out, but this is Azubu Frost going to fly into them. All their ultimates are up except, the Requiem and the Ezreal isn't, and Stanley's driving in. This is TPA pushing.
They're going on towards Shy. Shy getting dropped down immediately off that, and Bebe gets in there. CloudTemplar using the ultimate, but the rest of his team are not with him. They're dealing with Lilballz. The Irelia's Reverie comes across, and you see that that's going to be immediately catch on. CloudTemplar is just going to have to run away. Bebe's still taking a lot of damage, though. The Woong is just off the side, picking them apart. Karthus picks up the double. They're going to take Toyz down. Azubu Frost once again come out on top of this team fight. And Stanley and Lilballz, the only 2 surviving members. Azubu Frost are going to try and push the Baron.
Bebe just got picked off there, and you can see how low everyone on Azubu Frost is. They're so good at dropping aggro, and that's just because they have a more powerful front line than TPA. Stanley's going to try to disrupt this, but he doesn't have his ultimate up, and they're just jumping off after him. They're taking down this Baron, and even though Lilballz is going to try to steal, they're not going to let him. They're going to look to peel Lilballz before they let him steal. It's littered with wards, so there's no way he can actually get in undetected.
Trying to sneak around the side, trying to throw those saplings in. He does have Smite available. He's not going to be out of in a position to get in there. It would be suicide. And he backs away. And Azubu Frost now tied in kills, 22-22. They've got a 4-2 kill tower advantage. They've got the Baron, and they have a big gold advantage. That 5k advantage turn. And Azubu Frost really building up their advantages against Taipei Assassins and winning the last 4 team fights.
If Taipei Assassins wants to win a fight, they have to get RapidStar out of the way. He is dying where he wants. He is getting where he wants to go, and TPA doesn't seem to have field control of these fights. That's really what it's been coming down to, and big lead now for Azubu Frost because they were substantially down in gold when they started winning team fights. Now that they have the Baron buff and a large gold lead and the Aegis Elite and the Zeke's Herald, the team fight items coming in, it's going to be very difficult. TPA has to win these skirmish fights, and actually just take a look over at the Baron buff. Look at how many wards they had. That's one of the reasons they won that fight, because no matter where TPA tried to go, they couldn't lose vision of them. They tried to juke into brush, but all the brushes were taken up. They couldn't go around corners for field of vision. There's a little lesson there. Baron team fights, get wards out, because if you're looking to peel, you don't want people to go invisible.
They're going to dive up towards the dragon here. It's going to be picked up within seconds for Azubu Frost. Woong, of course, very fair now. Sampling's going to come in, didn't quite get the steal, though, as Woong takes out. Down the top, though, Stanley's getting dived on here. Is he wanting to fight this, though? Shy getting onto him for once. A 1-6-8 Shy is actually forcing Stanley back, despite the fact Stanley is built so tanky.
And another difficulty for TPA in teamfights is that Bebe's getting outranged and zoned by Woong. So even though he had an advantage early, he hasn't been able to push that because he can't get close to any of the targets he wants to. Even if he gets around the tank line, it's Woong that's going in on him. And now Azubu Frost are the ones doing the 4v4. They have Shy going off. They realize Stanley is the only diver. He's really the best frontliner for TPA, and since they can't match up their dive buddies with Lilballz and Stanley, they're struggling in teamfights to get to priority targets. This turret's going to be very difficult for them to hold just because of the flank potential from Azubu Frost coming around the back.
Yeah, Stanley versus Shy in that top lane, and honestly, you could see Amumu come around the side and try and get in there, which is why you see Lilballz putting that ward just above. Mistake trying to cover it off. CloudTemplar trying to find a position. Shy getting taken down very low there and forced away by Stanley. Are they going to try and force something in the bottom lane? No. They don't keep that standoff and just slowly but surely poke it off. They do manage to wall off a bunch of Azubu Frost, but honestly, Taipei Assassins do not feel they can win this fight. They need Stanley to join them, and it can't happen at the moment.
I think it's a matter of time until this turret goes down. If TPA were to engage on a 4-man Azubu Frost team with Baron, they would most likely lose. I'm surprised that Azubu Frost is backing off because it seemed like they could get that turret, but there it is. They knew Stanley could be coming up the back, and they didn't want to engage in a 4v5 even with Baron. So despite the 44 total kills in only 35 minutes, we do see a bit of cautious play finally coming out of Azubu Frost.
A big game experience, of course. We talked about it earlier on. Very much keeping a cool head here on Azubu Frost. Toyz continuing out to farm. Let's just have a look across the builds and the teams. I mean, how do you see this one playing out? At the moment, Azubu Frost winning every team fight. How do Taipei Assassins react to that?
On top of Azubu Frost winning all the team fights earlier, they've completed 2 Guardian Angels, so Shy and Woong both will have to die twice in the next fight, and TPA doesn't have one of their own. They need to be extremely cautious and almost hope that Azubu Frost dives a turret or does something silly. They have to focus around getting picks, and he's burning his ultimate. They're just diving through onto him. They're going to get him here.
They're going to get him. There's the crescendo, goes across the Karthus ultimate. Will be enough. RapidStar picks up the kill. They're going to try and push on Stanley as well, but instead they immediately divert their attention and go straight for that bottom turret. They have a creep wave coming in. They will take that inner turret down.
And Azubu Frost actually just pulled off what TPA would have needed to do, picking off a solo member. There's no way right now that TPA wins an even team fight, even if it's on top of a turret. They have to pull off something very creative. You can see Toyz is off getting blue buff, but this turret is going to be nearly impossible for them to hold. They only have 3 members, and Azubu Frost is flying in hard.
They're diving in here. Remember, they used a lot of ultimates to get in here, though, but they are taking the turret down very quickly. A flash from RapidStar, an exhaust on towards Mistake, but it wasn't enough. They do take the inhibitor down regardless, and they're going to back straight off this one. Stanley is trying to peek across, but Azubu Frost quite happily disengaged. That's going to be the true shot barrage going across, not really doing a great deal of damage across them. They do make a stun on towards Shy. Can they pick one off here? He has got a Guardian Angel. Azubu Frost immediately turns to react. They're going to defend their comrade, and Stanley's trying to get in there. That's going to be the curse of the sad mommy getting across, hitting the entire team, but Stanley is still in of there, and Woong is going to get taken down very low. Lilballz tries to get aggressive, but they disengage so quickly. They cannot catch up. That wall of pain goes across and effectively says, chase us if you will.
And that was a TPA fight where they had no AD carry. Bebe was still waiting for his death timer. It was a good repel. If they'd lost 2 inhibitors, the game would essentially be over. Overall, Azubu Frost, with that Baron buff, made very good use of it, getting the first inhibitor of the game and just extended their lead. None of their Guardian Angels have been popped. You can see they've been able to zone TPA out in team fights, and they really just have to continue doing what they're doing. With that long push, though, all their wards have actually dropped down, so this would be a moment for TPA to try to get a pick. They could take control of the area and hope to catch someone warding. But come 30 seconds from now, we see 5 wards out from MadLife. He's going to be littering that Baron area with wards because they know the spawn timer is going to be a couple minutes later since their Baron just did fall off. And this is actually maybe a bit of a pause for Azubu Frost because their next play is forcing around Baron.
It could well be their last play as well because Taipei Assassins up against it here. Stanley trying to draw something out, trying to bait something out. And the ping's coming out to back off. They do not want to go into towards the situation. Azubu Frost, of course, with all the ultimates available, are going to continue.
Oh, this might be what they need!
They got caught out. CloudTemplar isn't enough, though. He's just going to pop his ultimate. The curse of the sad moment comes out. He does get dropped. Have they got enough to try and continue? Or will they just disengage very quickly? Irelia is wherever he was, popped, and they do back away. Bebe with the ultimate just goes down to clear up those super minions.
More of that, though, for TPA. They caught CloudTemplar scouting and trying to ward, and the wall from Toyz completely split him away from the rest of the team. The unfortunate thing here, though, is Bebe had to go back to base to clear out those super minions with the inhibitor down. That's the worst inhibitor to have down when the Baron is up, because it completely takes him as far away as possible in supporting the upcoming Baron fight. That Baron spawning in 20 seconds. You can see TPA is trying to take control of it, but without 5 members, they don't have the confidence to start any team fights. There's the death timer on CloudTemplar, and they might actually charge this, knowing that CloudTemplar won't be up for the very start of it. If there's a desperation play, this might be it.
And of course, without that Amumu ultimate, it may just give them that slight advantage they want in them 4v5 fights. But are they aware of the timer? It is now up. They will have vision of it, and CloudTemplar spawns. They are not in position to try and fight for it, and they're going to have to react and back off from this one. Taipei Assassins, Azubu Frost are going to be happy with that one. They realized that the danger they were in, but now they've got themselves back as a 5-man team, and they are in the stronger position, Jack.
And they can go wherever they want as long as they stay grouped up. When RapidStar's flashes up, though, it'll make them much more dangerous in teamfights because it allows his positioning with Defile to be even greater. He has that Void Staff, so most of the magic resist the TPA has isn't helping them very much. When that Requiem comes down, it's going to be devastating. They're clearing out wards, and they're actually looking to fight here. TPA is going to try to stop this because giving up the Baron would mean the game. But fighting Azubu Frost straight up 5v5 in a choke is also going to be a high chance of them losing it. They have to pull off something crazy here. They have to teamfight perfectly if they don't want to lose here. Stanley walking right through a ward. Azubu Frost displaying a lot of patience.
And they're hitting the axe of the cross inside. Azubu Frost poking it. They don't have the vision, though. Taipei Assassins desperately. Stanley's going to maybe try and pull something crazy out here. It's Woong they want, but he's got that Guardian Angel. He's got that damage, and of course RapidStar as well, poking it through.
Well, RapidStar is up pushing top, so Azubu Frost trying to engage.
They're trying to go for it, and they can see. They're going to come back. They've dodged up towards Stanley. Stanley's the one that wants to take the damage, and immediately he turns into the rest of Azubu Frost. There's the goes to the Sam Molly. RapidStar taken very low. They're going to use the Zonya's Hourglass straight away. They can't manage to take him down. CloudTemplar will get dropped by Stanley. Immediately turning it. Lilballz takes down RapidStar. Then Stanley's going to get dropped. The counter. Oh, it's a triple kill for RapidStar. And now Woong and Shy should chase down Lilballz. And Shy gets the kill. And surely the game for Azubu Frost. We are 28-26. They're going directly for the Nexus turrets. Jack, what an amazing turnaround.
I thought that Bebe might be able to pull off the end of that fight, but the Requiem just destroyed him, and RapidStar picked up his 13th kill of the game. They're now pushing down onto this Nexus. This looks to be the end for Azubu Frost. They look to have the 1-0 advantage, and what an amazing way to open the World Finals. 54 kills, 42-minute victory.
What a fantastic performance there. 42-minute game thing as we are getting the game underway. So, Taipei Assassins coming into this next match. They are 1-0 down. They have picked up the Karthus Shenel combo. How do you feel these team comps, how will they stack up as things get underway?
It's going to be about frontline control for TPA. Last game, they had a very hard time getting to the targets they wanted to. Going to be hard to get through the Zyra. She's very, very hard to run at. Again, Azubu Frost might have the teamfight edge, and TPA just has to win laning and mid-game harder. That's what they've done in the past. They've ended games very early on, and all 5 members of Azubu Frost getting slightly spotted out there. They're going aggressive level 1. TPA trying to hold this off. They do have a defensive formation. They're actually all grouped up around here. They have a ward on their blue buff. They're worried about Azubu's level 1, and they might just try to do something sneaky.
So Azubu Frost stood on top of a ward at the moment, so Taipei Assassins know exactly where they are. There goes the sapling showing Taipei Assassins in the bush. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, Azubu Frost 1-0 up as the blue side against Taipei Assassins as the red side. Currently, the invade seem to have backed off. Everybody has gone back their own way. Taipei Assassins still lingering, though. You see CloudTemplar backing away. CloudTemplar teleporting off.
Yeah, now it's actually because he used so much of his mana scouting with his saplings, he had to go back to base if he wanted to have mana for his jungle, especially since it looks like they're starting red buff. He'll need to have mana left for his blue if they go for an invade. They did place that ward early, which tells me they might want to see a delayed invade possible, but it could get countered by the fact there's 2 wards on that blue buff. There's a lot of pings going down here, and it does seem to me that Azubu Frost has something kind of sneaky planned here. We'll see if they are able to execute it.
And Toyz taking away the Major Wraith there. Very nicely done. As a level 1, getting that steal in. Took a bit of damage for his troubles. Is he going to go for a lane change, though? He is heading south. This could be a Karthus down the bottom, or is he just going to go for the blue? I'm not too sure whether he's going to help out.
Oh, and this is actually a fast push mid strategy. We know they like taking the mid tower first early, and they're going to have Sona Caitlyn trying to 1v2 up against them, but they're counter switching, trying to get RapidStar into a 1v2 against Toyz. That's an extremely dangerous lane for both of them, and the ganks are going to be extremely impactful. But TPA, even with this matchup, should still win the mid lane. It's going to be a bit of a farm off, though, and there'll be a lot of attention paid to that bottom lane since both those guys are extremely vulnerable to ganks.
So nothing coming in the jungles, but all going on in the lanes. Let's have a look, and you can see Lilballz picking up the blue buff. He's going to take it, and Taipei Assassins immediately switching things up. They're going to try and come around the backside of RapidStar. RapidStar maybe spotting it. He's going to back straight off, puts the ward in that tri-bush. And you can see Sona coming around, going to have that poke. Stanley taken down very low by Shy there. Meanwhile, down the bottom, if we can just get a glimpse of Sona. Sona taking some damage from RapidStar. And again, the lanes trying to change their dynamic. And Karthus has gone back to the middle.
They're trying to swap really quickly here, and Lilballz actually sitting around at the Dragon. I think he's just trying to catch MadLife warding, and he might get it with a cleaver.
He's got a cleaver on him, he's flashed in, he gets exhausted instantly by MadLife, but they're going to turn him down. That's going to be first blood, and it's Bebe that picks it up once again. And now Karthus is heading north. He's actually going for the Wraiths, I'll tell a lie, but he used the teleport but to get back in towards that mid lane.
And this is what TPA needed jumping out at the start of this game. Woong trying to get punished. The back and forth lane swaps, TPA was ready for him. Amazing play by Lilballz there. He knew the patterns of supports and knew that once they swapped lanes, they had to get wards in the river. As soon as MadLife walked for that, he was able to catch him out with the cleaver. And that was, again, a brilliant gank play by Lilballz. He did that in the first game as well. And he might give his bottom lane the huge advantage it needs.
Yeah, Woong being zoned out a little bit here by mistake. Level 2 versus Bebe at level 3 already. Going to try and keep him down. Of course, that wave will get pushed in towards the tower, so there's only so much they can try and zone him. We do see CloudTemplar coming around just above. Is he going to be able to sneak through that tri-bush? I'm pretty sure there was a ward that went down in that bush earlier on. Yes, it is. They've just passed straight by that ward, and the sapling goes down. Mistake just clearing that one out. And that will get reset the lanes. Let's take a look at this top lane. We can see Lilballz heading there right now. Jax versus Shen.
And Shy does not have any wards here, but he's positioned fairly defensively in his lane. They might end up burning a flash here, but he senses something. Stanley gave a bit of a tell. He pushed up where he would normally, and Shy's playing very carefully here. Lilballz now going back down. His Wraith's completely getting sacrificed for Toyz, and going into that mid lane, this is Toyz' crazy laning skills coming into play again. 34 minions to 18 of RapidStar. That lane swapping, he was one step ahead, and it gave him an early lead. Now he's just trying to punish RapidStar with it.
The clever player CloudTemplar there, you can see throwing a sapling at the wolves. He's trying to get the timers going down, trying to keep the position of Lilballz. We know that he's at the top there, just taking the golems. He's going to come around. Shy is just going to get pushed against his tower. Instead, Lilballz looking like he may go for the invade of his own. He heads down towards the middle. We can see CloudTemplar just stepping off at the side there, trying to go towards Toyz. Toyz, of course, very vulnerable, as Lilballz going for the wolves, and they're both counter-invading each other's wolves.
They're just both trying to get scouting information, and they are right on top of each other, same level. Lilballz going with his Dorn Shield Mundo build once again. Very effective in the previous games. And even just Stanley's aggression in the top lane is keeping him in it. Oftentimes Jax can be very aggressive trades 1v2, but he sensed Lilballz was there, and it's allowed Shen to push up the tower. Now Lilballz trying to gank around RapidStar. And CloudTemplar again trying to get bottom. He got spotted out by the end of that ward. Lilballz just trying to zone RapidStar at a mid.
Yeah, he steps onto a trap, actually, I think it was. Straight on Caitlyn's trap. RapidStar immediately aware. So they know the jungler's positions. They're going to try and counter this one. Taipei Assassins getting poked off just heavily here on this bottom lane. Woong doing a lot of damage down on towards Mistake there. MadLife, again, the poke from these two. How do you rate these two lanes between them? I mean, obviously we've seen the Ezreal Sona, so it's the power in that lane. But Caitlyn Sona versus Zyra Ezreal.
And this is that support Zyra that Azubu Frost actually were the first ones to play. MadLife, a lot of experience on it. It's all about the team fighting phase, but you can actually get extremely aggressive with Zyra in the lane. Mistake wants to be high, heavy, and strong with the poke, but Bebe gets caught up by the root. You can see the aggression that comes down. Two plants getting spawned, and Bebe getting zoned out right away.
Getting pushed heavily there, and MadLife managing to put a lot of damage down on him, forcing him back. Is he going to go back off? Yes, he will. He's going to have to buy. He will not be able to stick around. Of course, Sona had gone back. We are seeing the top lane trading blows as well. Jack's down to about half health there. And Toyz now heading south. Are they going to go for invaders? Is it just going to be simply be the Wraiths, or are they going to
try a four-man gank down at the bottom here? You can see that Azubu Frost had pushed up, and since Bebe went back to base, you thought maybe they were going to try a tower push. but they're also playing conservatively, and they had to walk back out. They decided against that one. Lilballz spending a lot of time trying to countervade and create things. He's falling a bit behind for himself. He's only level 4 at 7 minutes, and giving a level or experience edge to CloudTemplar's Maokai could be dangerous. Every time CloudTemplar's had a level advantage on an enemy jungler, he's pushed it really, really hard. And if they get some kind of successful gank, it could be very dangerous for TPA.
Yeah, and in the middle, we're seeing a huge CS advantage already building by Toyz. Toyz 63 to 42, got a 20 CS difference. And the top lane, Stanley versus Shy, there's a 10 CS difference there. Stanley's starting to build a lead as well. So these lanes actually going out quite well for Taipei Assassins. You can see that reflected in the gold advantage already built up.
And this is what they need, because Azubu Frost has went with a very strong AoE team fight, late game team, and TPA is a lot more about laning. Karthus is kind of the other thing that will be their late game insurance if they can get there, but for the most part, this is a composition revolving around early game pressure, and that's what they're applying right now. They've got the one early kill, but mainly just outlaning. 1,500 gold advantage is very high for this point in the game, and they are keeping the pressure down on everyone from Azubu Frost across the map.
Toyz picking up the blue buff for himself. RapidStar yet to go across, but CloudTemplar will pull it. Down that bottom lane, Woong, you can see with that double Dorans against the single Dorans and Vampiric Scepter for Bebe. Bebe trying to continue that poke with Mistake's help, and they're going to get a couple of hits on the tower, the first few hits for the bottom lane. So neither team, able to really fast push either turrets. The top lane, I think, seems to be the one where the turret may go, because you can see Shy being very aggressive on it.
And I really just have to hand it to Toyz in the mid lane here, because last game he was substantially ahead of RapidStar with the opposite matchup, and now he's just 34 minions ahead, Karthus versus Anivia. He is outplaying RapidStar for the most part in this matchup. RapidStar trying to get in for the race, but Toyz is just completely keeping them for himself. He's going to be the fed Karthus here, and if they can turn the team fights around on Azubu Frost, like what happened to them last game, they'll be in good shape, especially with how strong they're laning.
Yeah, and of course he's been stealing away RapidStar's blades as well, so he's getting a grand share of both lanes. As it is, remember he had to use, did just start off down that bottom, did use the teleport, he has got that teleport available should it require it later in the team fights, something that Azubu Frost do not have, not to mention, of course, you've got Stanley's ultimate that can get himself in there. Bottom lane, there's Toyz, now he's taking away the wolves. Is he leaving anything for Lilballz? Lilballz, meanwhile, in the top lane, is forcing the pressure on towards the Shy. Does keep him back there, and that's going to be a lane push from Lilballz, which I'm not sure if Stanley's going to be quite happy with that.
I think they're okay. They're trying to create a lot of pressure onto Shy, and this is Lilballz's and TPA's overall team strategy. Because they're giving so much farm to Toyz, they don't want Mundo to fall behind, which means he does have to leech experience from other sources. He is about going for lanes. He's level 7, which means he isn't behind despite getting everything for Toyz. It's actually much more efficient when 2 members get experience in lanes than just 1. With that just push, he's put himself ahead of CloudTemplar, which is extremely important since we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, and again, that mid lane, it's just the advantage continues as the crowd still cheers those ward kills. Of course, the Oracle's now been bought, picked up by CloudTemplar. They're clearing out that mid lane. Lilballz not quite with that Oracle yet. Got to be careful he doesn't walk straight into it. Here comes the ultimate. It's actually the Karthus. Where is it going? Is it just pressure on MadLife? Are they just trying to force the turret here? You can see Bebe immediately with that wave, trying to put as much pressure down as possible. Not exactly sure where that ultimate came out, though.
They're just trying to push down the turret. They're making it not appealing for Azubu Frost to stay there in fear of dying. It forced MadLife to go back, and it forced CloudTemplar to run to the bottom lane, which essentially makes them safe from ganks. They're just trying to push down this turret as fast as possible. They want to get out of this lane and apply their pressure elsewhere. A little confusing on the use of that ult, but I'm pretty sure it was about the fast push.
Yeah, Shy also taking some damage. CloudTemplar was forced to go down there, and there was half the health stripped off that turret. So on that regards, it definitely worked out. But it's a little confusing when we're closing in on the dragon fight, potentially coming in a minute or two's time. So it's 180 seconds on that cooldown. Stanley just getting stunned out with a counter strike from Shy there, and you can see already Empowered Strike doing a bit of damage to Stanley. And, you know, despite the fact that even in the farm, a Fed Jax will be a very, very dangerous thing late game.
And this is something Stanley does on Shen. He'll get the Cage's lucky pick as well as the Heart of Gold. He really just likes to get to the late game and make sure he's extremely powerful with all that split push. He had an early edge on Shy, but I think because he went with that double GP10 as Lilballz takes in another ward, he's getting bullied a bit by Shy, and that's why Shy's been able to sit up and camp him in that top lane. It is dangerous if Shy's able to force a team fight before Stanley gets his items. Azubu Frost would have an edge off of that. But Toyz still farming, still stealing rates, 124 to 94. Both teams with Oracles now just taking down each other's wards.
It is a battle for wards. Many wards died on the Saturday. And now it's been reflected in the crowd's appreciation. It is all across the map. Which also, of course, means there's not really going to be anything coming from this because they are completely spotting each other's positions out. Of course, Reckoning will be available in about 30-40 seconds time. So let's see if Taipei Assassins do try and push something on this bottom turret. We are coming into 12.5 minutes, so they want to take this first turret down as much as they can, and of course then turn things onto the Dragon. Taipei Assassins definitely appear to be the team trying to push the pace on Azubu Frost.
And this is something that TPA may have taken from Team WE. You can see Lilballz is just down there trying to pressure the lane, making Azubu Frost react to them, and that's why CloudTemplar just spent his entire game walking around and hoping Lilballz ganks and tries to counter gank. Will they walk into one here? He's coming up for RapidStar, trying to land a cleaver. RapidStar looks like he's just going to walk away.
Toyz taking a bit of damage there, but you can see there's 40 CS ahead of RapidStar in that mid, and that is a big, big difference, considering they've effectively been 1v1 throughout it with zero help from the junglers. How is that gold laid? You can see the gold stack, and it is a small difference. Wow, it's a light, it's a 700 gold difference. That's a pretty huge difference in the grand scheme of things. And more importantly, Bebe is leading once again as the AD carry.
And this is across the board. They are out farming. Even Lilballz, despite deferring so much farm to Karthus, has a minion kill edge on CloudTemplar. They need to force a team fight almost at some point because their laning phase is coming up big. Once they kill a tower, they're going to try to create action on the rest of the map. Azubu Frost is very much in stall town right now. TPA doing a fantastic job farming, especially Toyz. This is a huge score for 13 minutes, 156 minions. And as you said, really going to get that item advantage soon.
Maybe he's going to go for Froggen's record. Let's see.
In the World Finals.
In the World Finals. That would be pretty ballsy play. He got the ability to go for it. Shy being aggressive on towards Stanley again there, but Stanley would quietly back away. And we see Woong, of course, taking away those golems in the bottom there. RapidStar trying to put a bit of pressure on towards that turret. We're seeing both lanes all taking a bit of a harassment here.
Lilballz coming around the back.
Shy is going to get pushed, and Stanley's trying to bait it in there. How's he going to go for the taunt there? Shy is just going to be let to back away. Didn't want to go for the engagement. Wasn't really sure. Spotted RapidStar heading up the river there. Shy pulling the ward down. And we are seeing that bottom lane. They are very low. The Karthus ultimate not coming out. The sniper's going to come across. That's going to catch MadLife. Here comes the Karthus ultimate. They might get a double kill. No. A heal from Woong. It saves one, but that's going to be the kill of the top lane, the bottom lane, sorry. Here we see Toyz going in towards that. There's the teleport from Toyz. Wall of Pain not quite landing, but RapidStar's going to get...
Oh, Shen too!
The rebound blitz goes in, and that's going to be Shen coming across. They're going to try and get out towards Shy. RapidStar's going to get dropped. Can they take Shy down as well? They do! And it's 3 kills. Meanwhile, down the bottom, there's another trade.
That's an ace!
It's the Sona going down. They managed to ace them 15 minutes in with nothing happening for 15 minutes. They suddenly pull off the ace all across the map.
And they take down a turret on top of everything, so that 2,000 advantage just ballooned to 5,000. Toyz was the key to all that. Karthus ultimate to start it, teleport in to finish, and that is across the board coordination by TPA. Almost too hard to follow, and you can tell it caught Azubu Frost completely off guard.
It caught me off guard as well, I've got to be honest. 2-0-2 for Toyz, 3-0-1 for Bebe, 0-1-4 for Sona, and wow. The assists and gold spreading across, which suddenly gave them that huge boost in gold. You can see it is a 6,000 gold lead. Obviously, they've built up a big lead to start with from picking up all the CS. They do manage to force down that bottom turret. They're going to pick up the Dragon. That is going to give Taipei Assassins another huge lead. Can they deal with it this time, though? Azubu Frost, they had this last time, and Azubu Frost had the team come to deal with it. Can they push the pressure on Azubu Frost?
This is a much larger lead than last game. And now that they've taken the first turret down, the siege from BB's Caitlyn, especially that he has the big lead onto Woong. Now he will outrange Ezreal, and he will be the one zoning him out in team fights, unlike the Ezreal versus Vayne matchup in the last one. They need to be careful that Shy doesn't get too big because he has been farming quite well, and he's going to try to split push this top turret, but everyone is converging onto him, and he has no flash.
They're trying to collapse on him, but he's going to be leap striking straight away from that one. Shy was not going to get caught out, spotted them early enough. Have they realised that mistake is in that tri-bush? Was there a ward just below? I can't quite catch it. No, there wasn't. So it's just his spider senses ding being. They're going to take down this mid turret Azubu Frost, though. Now, Wall of Pain is not going to be enough to force them away. They will finish it off, and Woong getting the damage done, and they will back away. You could see that Stanley was heading straight up north, but getting spotted by that ward.
Bebe's got to be careful up here in the top lane. If MadLife lands a root, they will be able to kill him.
Oh, and there he went through. Bebe baiting it out there, doing a bit more damage. And as Taipei Assassins now tending to push of their own, they're not going to have the minions, though, to do the damage. While this is all happening, Stanley getting the free farm down the bottom. You can see Woong is going down there to try and deal with him. So now we have a different dynamic. We have Stanley versus Woong in the bottom, and we have Shy versus Bebe in the top.
And the push from TPA is going to be coming out hard, but Azubu Frost has that Anivia, which is legendary for her turtle capabilities. And top lane is just getting pushed down by Bebe.
Shy actually took a hell of a lot of damage there. Took a lot of punishment from Bebe, and Bebe really is dominating that top lane. You can see that Shy's had to back away from it. Bebe has got a wave coming in. He may be able to take that turret down, you know. He's completely unattested on that top lane. Meanwhile, the mid lane's also being pushed. Azubu Frost having to deal with it, and Bebe will take down this top turret.
And he is 2,000 gold ahead of Woong on the other side, so they have a big, big advantage that they do need to press. We saw them take an early Baron in some of these earlier matches, and since it's so hard to push turrets against Anivia, they might look to force around objectives. That middle turret is being very well held by Azubu Frost. That's going to be the next thing TPA wants to group up and take. It's so difficult to push into an Anivia, but they do have now a 7.3 thousand gold advantage, and this is the moment they need to just pounce. Last time they had that advantage growing and growing, then they hit ever on the map at once, getting that huge lead. Now that Channel's up again, now that Requiem's up again, they might look to do something similar again.
Well, that 30% gold advantage they have over Azubu Frost definitely equates to the items. You can see them are nearly completing things. Infinity Edge almost already completed by Bebe.
And he has the gold for it. It's just a matter of him going back. He's going to actually be able to complete an Infinity Edge and a Zeal once he gets back, which is crazy since Woong only has that phage and he's still a ways away from a Trinity Force. They're now, like they did last game with the advantage, pushing in the blue buff very hard. And RapidStar, without a blue buff, cannot turtle add Infinity in the middle, so they will be able to push down that mid turret fairly shortly.
Hit and run damage done by Taipei Assassins. They're taking away that blue buff very quickly, and now a 60 CS difference between Toyz and RapidStar. A very huge lead on Karthus. And that ultimate, like you mentioned earlier on, it is going to be doing some serious damage. A 2,000 gold lead on both carries. In fact, all the carries, because you can see Stanley, even in the top lane, has a 2,000 gold advantage over Shy, which is something I don't recall ever seeing. Considering Shy has been able to get on Jax, you know, his Telltale champion, he steps on a trap there, and Bebe immediately pounces and tries to put a chunk of damage down on towards Shy. The Taipei Assassins being very aggressive in that top lane. They need to be careful. They're going to try and catch off. They have to use the crescendo to get away, but a mistake may well pay the price for this one. The ultimate. They're going to dive in. Bebe needs to back away. He just needs to accept the fate here. There comes the Shy. Toyz also teleported in. Taipei Assassin trying to turn this one. Can they get anything straight in there? No. You can see Azubu Frost very much backing off very, very quickly there. Really good disengage.
That was fantastic for Azubu Frost. They actually burned the majority of TPA's engagement tools with a huge disadvantage, got away with the kill, and nobody died. So the resources that actually expended is going to be huge. That makes it very difficult for TPA to force something immediately. Even then, they didn't even get that low, so they might be able to hold the mid turret as well. That was huge for them, and Lilballz is getting poked down pretty heavily in the mid lane. Azubu doing a really good job turtling this out last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, Lilballz ultimately being forced to be used there again, so any ultimates used, only the Requiem and the Caitlyn ultimate available. Caitlyn, of course, is going to be on a much quicker cooldown, but they do not want to burn that Requiem. I thought he might come out in that last fight, but there was nobody really low enough to go for it. And Bebe again finds himself a lane, and it is against Shy again, and he's just going to continue farming out.
And he's getting really scary right now. Infinity Edge Zeal compared to Woong's only Phage and a Sheen. So he can just pretty much destroy anyone he goes up to. TPA now trying to push in the mid lane.
Bot lane.
They're going to need to push this mid lane in before it hurts, and Shy's trying to camp. I don't think he can beat Bebe in a duel.
Yeah, Shy's thinking about it, and Bebe's pretty sure there's someone there. Didn't take a peek though, and instead Shy is actually backed out of that fight, didn't want to get involved. But of course he had the Toyz ultimate, so he could have had a dual combo straight away. He'd been able to get in there, do a heck of a lot of damage. So we are seeing Stanley versus Woong on that top lane, but meanwhile in the middle, Taipei Assassins are going to try and push this one. They may have a decent wave to try and get the poke on towards the turret. It's not going to be enough because RapidStar clears it out. That's going to be Lilballz forced to flash out of there. Bebe was coming up. They wanted to get that turret down, but they didn't quite have the damage. And Lilballz nearly getting caught out. Dragon is up in 12 seconds. So the teams will start positioning for this. You can see Stanley's ultimate just about available.
And this is the struggle for Azubu Frost. They're too weak to start team fights, so if they go in on this dragon, they're going to most likely lose the fight. They're all about turning that middle turret, and TPA taking the objectives when they're available, but really all the attention needs to be on the middle turret for them, because as long as Azubu Frost holds that mid turret, TPA won't be able to close out this game. They are extending their advantage, however, and with that, all the team fights will go in their favor. They do have to find a way to create action, though, because with the big lead, it means nothing if you can't kill towers.
Can't kill towers. They do have a 2-to-1 advantage. They have a huge gold lead, 9k difference now for Taipei Assassins, which this early on is massive. Stanley, of course, is going to start split pushing, start farming, start causing problems for Shy in that top lane. But Shy, they need to be very careful of him, because he's just going to get that free farm going. He's going to become a beast if they manage to drag the game out, which is what they're trying to do. As Azubu Frost, they realize they're in that stall position. They need to do what CLG EU can do so successfully with Anivia. And Azubu Frost, you know, having beaten CLG EU twice, which I'm sure they won't like me reminding them, they have that ability. They know how to play against it. They've seen that tactic work against them, so they know how to execute it. Again, here you see Toyz trying to get aggressive on towards MadLife. MadLife just backing away. There's a lot of damage coming across there. Didn't bother using Ace in the hole. They're going to keep pushing the pressure down. They might be able to get them towards the turret here, because Bebe is incredibly strong right now.
And they're just trying to poke down as much as possible to make it so they can't turtle the turret. But Anivia's wave clear is so great that they've still got 2/3 health on that turret. They've spent the last 6 or so minutes paying a lot of attention to that mid turret, and they haven't made progress, so they have to switch something up or consider diving or creating some big action. Those walls are dangerous for TPA. They got about another third of the turret there, so they are finally making progress. This is a very effective turtle thus far by Azubu Frost. TPA really has to create something.
Well, they've just warded out, almost like they're going to go for Baron here. I'm just going to put that out there. That's looking like they're trying to force a fight here.
The objective control could be the things they go for. They've been able to get down dragons, and they know that they win 5v5 team fights. So if they can force Azubu Frost into them, they'd be able to turn. And you can take turrets once you kill RapidStar. It's just a matter of getting him in a spot. The blue buff's up again. They look to want to go for this one, but they contested so many blues. They're trying to steal this. Oh, RapidStar just able to get it off.
Yeah, he tried to get a Q in there. Wasn't able to. They're trying to pin off Lilballz. They do back it off. That shows their hand. And they wanted that, but it wasn't available to them. Meanwhile, Bebe continues the farm. He's heading down south. He's going to take down that huge wave down south, which means Azubu Frost realized they've stalled it out for another few minutes.
And even with this stall, TPA is doing a very good job to make sure they're getting more gold than Azubu Frost. In their semifinal game against Moscow 5, there was a new Kog on Moscow 5, and they were very much about getting it to late game. But once it got to 40 minutes, there was a 16,000 gold advantage for TPA, which meant they could just roll through them in team fights. They're trying for the same thing here, because they have a 9,000 gold lead, and it's only getting bigger as this game moves on. As long as they don't make mistakes, they should be able to take out the late team fights. But they still have to find that option of how they create, because they have the gold lead, they have the team fight advantage, they just have to find the upper hand of positioning.
Well, Bebe is going to become a beast here. He's going to go back. I think Phantom Dancer almost certainly going to get completed. He's teleporting back right now. We'll see what he comes out with. No.
Last Whisper.
Goes for Last Whisper instead, just has that Zeal in there. So once that armor penetration in, there's another ward. Gets lost. In the ever and never-ending fight of League of Legends. The ward count, I would love to see that. You know, we saw the info stats. I'd love to see how many wards have died.
There were 80 kills in that one 60-minute CLG versus WE game, and that was just on CLG's side. Been many wards killed this. I wouldn't say there's quite as many, because TPA has yet to start poking around Baron, but they should look to do that soon. They have so many items coming out of BB. The item advantage is never going to be this disparaging for him. Having that Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, and Zeal compared to just a Trinity Force and double Doran's Blade on Woong is massive. Even after that, you look at Toyz. He's going for the same item build as RapidStar, but he's completed his Rod of Aegis and an Izzy Large Rod on top of that. They look to try to finish off this mid-turret, but they are actually playing very, very cautious. They can't seem to land quite the right Karthus wall. They can't get quite enough poke out. This turret has been up forever.
It's a 2,500 gold between the top lane as well. Stanley now got that Ionic Spark, got the Aegis of Legion, now building that Trinity Force up just against Shy's Trinity Force. However, Shy really only needs that Trinity Force if he can get by himself a little bit of time to jump in there, get that counter strike off, and obviously Bebe is going to be the target. The question is, can he get onto Bebe successfully? Can he get kept away from him? Of course, he's going to have a lot of tools in there. He's going to be jumping almost certainly into a crescendo. Mistake will be covering off his AD carry as much as possible. And Our mid lane continues slowly to get chipped down.
And in these kind of games, when there's low action, the action seems to explode and just all happen at once. And it also has a huge, huge impact because now that we're already 27 minutes into the game, the death timers are getting longer and longer. And if there's a team fight off the end of it, there will be more and more objectives taken. If someone wins a team fight big here, they're going to take Baron and multiple turrets. It's just a matter of TPA getting into the point where they can do that because Shy is 1v1ing Stanley up in that top lane. They can't quite get down on that. They still have to create action, and when they do get action, there's going to be a lot of it, so be ready.
Azubu Frost trying a little bit of poke here. Maybe trying to force something out there. I'm not too sure whether they're in the right position. I think they were trying to keep Stanley busy so they could try and get a 4v4, but you can see Toyz down that bottom. He's pushing on towards the inner turret now. There comes the True Shot Barrage. That will clear up most of the wave. And they will continue the poke battle. From an 8-kill game to a 54-kill game last match. It's definitely a contrast.
TPA, much different style coming out here, and it's about just laning. And when they clashed into all those team fights, they realized they didn't have the team fight team. This time they also realize they don't have the team fighting team, so they're not crashing into fights as much as they were last match. Instead, they're just focusing on getting that gold advantage up. It's 9.6 thousand here, and when they take that tower, it's going to hit double digits. Well, 5 digits if you count all of them, but Dragon up, they're going to take that. So many objectives here, and they're really just waiting until Azubu Frost comes out to fight them. They do seem content just farming.
They're going to pick up the Dragon. It's going to be for free. Azubu Frost won't contest that one. And Stanley and Shy continue to farm out that top lane. And the gold advantage now 11,000 in favor of Taipei Assassins. They are 1 game down, 29 minutes into this game. And the solo lanes really continue to just farm, quite happily keep up. There is a huge difference in gold between the carries at the moment. 10,900 shy of 11,000 compared to just shy of 8,000 for RapidStar. That is a huge difference. And of course the AD carries, there's a 2,500 gold difference. The top lane, the bruisers, there's a 2,500 gold difference. It is pretty substantial on the right players.
I'm going to say this, Bebe is remarkably scary, and he's only going to get scarier. Late game Caitlyn is very underestimated, but having 650 range makes her extremely, extremely hard to close on, and the fact that he has just been completely free farming on top of getting 3 kills and all those dragons. He's a couple hundred gold away from a Phantom Dancer, and that's almost a full 80 carry build in 30 minutes. That is immensely powerful for TPA, and once they get that Phantom Dancer, I wouldn't be surprised with a death cap on Toyz as well if they then go to fight around Baron, because Azubu Frost is nowhere close to that item threshold, and that's going to be really big for TPA if they get to those items and then force Baron.
More wards lose their lives. You can see right now that Toyz has just completely cleared out that bottom wave, and they seem quite content to keep farming that top lane. I can't tell whether it's Stanley quite happily just holding out the lane or whether Shy is forcing them to stay in that lane, because they just want Shy to get stronger late game.
And this is really just item thresholds, I think. All the big items are starting to get completed for TPA, and then they'll create actions. Video Edge Fan Dance for Last Whisper. Trinity Force just got completed on Stanley. There's another 80 gold. Toyz is going to have his death cap the next time he goes back to base. We could see some action very shortly because they just hit a ton of premiums, and they are really rich right now in comparison to Azubu Frost.
So let's see if they do create some action. You can see MadLife trying to cover off the Baron there, but it is a huge, huge advantage. Lilballz trying to take down RapidStar's Banshee's Veil before that fight was potentially going to happen, but we are seeing Toyz heading towards the blue. He will have the cooldown. As the more coverage continues to get dropped. They're still yet to take down this middle turret. I mean, it's almost like they're keeping it up for a reason. They could easily just tank it down at any chosen moment, but they're not going for it right now. Ooh, Stanley wanting to get on towards Shy there, and Shy just leaps back into his own minions. They will force the pressure. Lilballz is trying to sneak around the side, but again, unable to push anything on Azubu Frost. They're stalling out quite well here.
And here comes the Baron sweep. They have enough damage that they can take down Baron very fast, and they could also peel very well. The danger for them in team fights is if RapidStar is able to isolate a member of their team with his wall. But with what they're doing right now, they're waiting for that blue buff timer to spawn. They're going to try to take that, and they're just flanking around Azubu Frost, trying to poke them down before this. And wow, just the one ultimate from Caitlyn taking RapidStar to a third, and they're trying to initiate right off here.
They tried to dive into it. The wall of pain getting across. Actually, RapidStar's getting shredded pretty low. But they're not going to go full engagement here. CloudTemplar might get dropped. They do target him but they do not go for it. Stanley, that taunt, if that would have landed on anyone, it would have been the death of them. The Taipei Assassins were very much ready for that, but you saw the burst damage going on towards Toyz there. He was forced to back off.
They need to just force around Baron because that middle turret is not giving an inch. And they poke down Azubu Frost fairly lowly, so they're just waiting for Azubu to try to get them off Baron. They should be going for an objective here because they're so strong that if Azubu Frost comes to peel, they'll be able to get rid of them. And here, they're starting the Baron. Azubu Frost has to contest. TPA needs to peel.
TPA goes across there. They might take it down before they react. Yes, they do. They took it incredibly quickly. Can they try to get onto it? Do they want to get onto it? That's the question. Are they happy with that? Now they can just push the towers. They're quite happy. Straight up fight here. You can see Lilballz. He wants to catch up to it. Good stuff from RapidStar, keeping them away. And they will start pushing it. Taipei Assassins surely can push the advantage finally on this middle turret.
If they have it initiated, it's going to be from Stanley with a flash taunt because that is their way of getting in. And they are so much stronger than Azubu Frost. Now look at that poke. This turret going to fall. I don't know how long Azubu can turtle this out because they're really weak. Look at that damage.
The crescendo missing there from a snake there. I think the bad shit's veil didn't even get popped there. RapidStar managing to get away from that one. Why he went for it there? Maybe he's trying to catch out Woong, I don't know. But you can see Taipei Assassins going to try and push that big advantage. That tower is getting dropped in seconds. They're going to continue pushing forward. Nice in a hole onto Woong there, managing to force him backwards. They could tank this one out. Stanley has the damage, has the tower. Defensive, and of course Lilballz, we know how long that ultimate is going to last. He has popped his ultimate. He wanted to go for it. They're diving towards CloudTemplar. There's the Karthus ultimate. Is it going to be enough damage? They're going to try and push something here, but Shy is going to get involved. They do not have the damage to try and beat back. The Taipei Assassins slowly but surely beat them down. MadLife having to use the ultimate there. They're going to take the inhibitor to it down. Stanley just missing a max range taunt on Shy there. They keep getting forced back, but they cannot force repel Taipei Assassins. They take down the inhibitor for free. Nobody dying though, and they just back off.
That was a very impressive push by TPA. They brute forced their way right through Anivia, and with those item thresholds, now they have even more armor onto Lilballz and Stanley once they go back. Everyone with over 1,500 gold, only going to extend their lead. They took that from the outer turret to the inhibitor straight. The Baron buff is still over half remaining for TPA. They're going to do that to another lane, and it's on Azubu Frost to initiate because TPA has actually shown they can just brute force their way through and get things done. Azubu Frost has to stop something. Otherwise, they're just going to let TPA win the game.
So Azubu Frost, they came back from the last match. They're still at 6-2 in kills. It has definitely been a low kill game, especially in comparison to the last one, where we saw 54 kills. But 5-1 in turrets shows that Taipei Assassins learned from their mistakes in the last match. Excuse the pun. They did manage to pick up. They drove home a huge advantage here. And just looking across the board, the item build, they have such huge, enormous benefits. The ability power across the Taipei Assassins pick up the dragon, no problem at all there. Gold advantage continues. 15,000 gold now. Big difference.
And now they're just going to try that same push they did mid onto the bottom lane. Randwin's Omen on Lilballz. He can take that turret for quite a long time. And there's no one there to defend it. So the siege, if it happens, is going to happen at the inhibitor turret because this outer one is going to be gone uncontested.
Shy is completely well away from this one. They're going to lose the inner turret. They might even lose the inhibitor turret before he even gets close. Shy is still in that top lane. Hasn't reacted to the Taipei Assassins push here because he knew that Stanley was not there. He's trying to deal with it. He's got super minions coming up the middle. It's a straight 4-on-4. This is what we talked about earlier in the game. They have that 4-on-4 fight, and they can just keep driving in. Super minions in that middle. Where is Stanley heading? Stanley wants to take the inner turret. Taipei Assassins just baiting this one out.
And this is no teleport or way of actioning against Stanley's split push. Shy cannot even 1v1 him at this point. So if he wants to ult in and create a 5v4, he will be able to. They're just going to slowly make sure they get as many turrets as possible here. They might actually go to flank around. It's so hard to push in against Anivia, but with the middle inhibitor down, if Lilballz and Stanley actually came through the mid inhibitor and flanked around the side, they could very well get this bottom turret. They're not doing that quite yet because they're trying to split push this down. But if they actually want to create, I'd expect them to do that.
And they're just stalling it out. You saw Toyz just going back, picking up the Void Staff as well. So all that armor penetration, all that damage could just come down in one huge Requiem strike. And look at that. They're just keeping them here. It is just a 3-man poke, keeping Azubu Frost completely pinned off. Stanley, meanwhile, he's going to find actually he's on the walls. He's having a fight with Shy here. Shy's going to have to back off from this one. I don't think he's got the damage to deal with Stanley right now, and you can see he's definitely going to have the huge advantage. Of course, Requiem will be available to him. Meanwhile, starting to poke with Shy, definitely going down. Here comes the Requiem. Stanley's going to flash. He's going to be down. Stanley picks up the kill. And will that turn the advantage for Azubu Frost?
Stanley can still ult into the team.
And Taipei Assassins, are they going to go for the turret here? There's the ultimate from Lilballz. Will they go towards it? Here comes the teleport comes in. Here comes the shared ultimate. They're going to dive in. They will get the inhibitor turret down. They're going to go for CloudTemplar. CloudTemplar's going to get dropped. They're diving in. Woong's been exhausted. The damage on Woong. Ace in the hole. Not enough damage. They're going to get the taunt. He's trying to fountain dive Stanley. Back off, man. You are not invincible. He's going to get dropped. He has finally gone down. The Anivia ultimate. The Anivia damage coming in, but it doesn't matter. The Nexus turrets are going down. The Azubu Frost are in all manner of trouble. Bebe, though, having to back out, taken incredibly low. And Taipei Assassins disengage. 8-3 up. But they took down the Nexus turret and another inhibitor.
Another extremely impressive push by TPA. They're just showing how far ahead they are. The Zeke's Herald on mistake. The Baron regen was sustaining them through so much of that. Baron buff is now off them, but the siege is just going to continue. Here's the next thing. Toyz hasn't died this game. Can he get another flawless victory for himself? The Baron buff is what they'll be waiting for. They are so strong. They cleared it almost instantly last time. It's going to be even faster now, and with the inhibitor being down in the mid lane, it's going to be hard for Azubu Frost to push out. Actually, TPA pushed straight through that inhibitor for the Nexus turret. They didn't take out the bottom inhibitor, so the pressure to the bottom lane isn't going to be as high as they'd like when they go to poke on for the next Baron. But even with that, they've shown they can go almost wherever they want, and Azubu Frost does not have the damage to repel their tank line. Really, Stanley and Lilballz just crush through, and no one can even get close to Bebe right now because of all those items.
Azubu Frost realizing there's no ward placement, trying to push out as quickly, as aggressively as possible, because they know that that Baron will be spawning shortly. And Taipei Assassins setting themselves up for this one, defending out as still the cheers come by those wards going down. And you can see CloudTemplar, if he shows himself down there, they're surely just going to push through. There's the middle inhibitor respawning for Azubu Frost, but honestly, they know he's not there. They can just drive through, and there's nothing Azubu Frost can do to it, because CloudTemplar has been caught out of position. He's going to drive through, and now it's going to be Taipei Assassins picking up another inhibitor. The bottom inhibitor wasn't touched. Actually, I'll tell a lie on the back. I thought it was in the last match. Instead, they just went straight for the Nexus. Here we go, 22 seconds, and the Baron will be available. Taipei Assassins immediately reacting and going towards it.
And this is one, as long as they have a few wards on the approach, which Mistake can easily provide with them having 2 stacks, they'll know exactly if they can take the Baron for free or if they can peel. Either way, they'll win the fight. So this Baron probably going to go down shortly. Azubu Frost looks like they want to harass. They're running through wards. If TPA just goes and fights them, they're going to clean up, but they're going to try to finish off the Baron first, maybe.
They're going to try to get the Baron. They do. They got it very quickly. The wall of pain landed. The crescendo gets across. MadLife is going to get caught down here. First to go. He's got the Oracle. He's trying to use as much as he can. Lilballz getting involved. Ace in the hole being blocked off by Woong. Not the ideal target. Toyz is going to get ready. Toyz goes down. First death of the game. That's going to be Coley. The Requiem's going to come out. It's going to be CloudTemplar. It's a triple kill again. RapidStar getting caught down. RapidStar's going to drop in a wall. Just about keep him up. Taipei Assassins going to try and get around. They're trying to circumvent on towards RapidStar. He's going to get caught out by Lilballz here. That's going to be the slow. It's going to be enough damage. No! He just manages to keep him back. And Woong gets exhausted. That's going to be Woong going down. Bebe manages to catch up to him. Bebe gets another. RapidStar is edged to Lilballz. He's got to be careful there. Towers on him. That is going to be the Nexus. That is going to be the ace. Taipei Assassins will take game 2. And Azubu Frost are going to find themselves in a 1-1 position. Taipei Assassins very, very strong throughout this match.
Again, bringing out that surprise